సభకు నమస్కారం. ఇక్కడ వేదిక మీద ఉన్న కొంతమందిలో తెలుగు అంత బాగా రాకపోవచ్చు. అందువల్ల నేను తెలుగు ఆంగ్ల భాషలు కలిపి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. దానివల్ల మీకు ఎటువంటి అసౌకర్యం ఉండదని హామీ ఇస్తున్నాను. నా జీవితంలో 2 సంవత్సరాలు ఈ జమ్మూ అండ్ కాశ్మీర్ అనే రాష్ట్రంలో గడిపాను. సుమారు 1,00,000 మంది CRPF men were under me. This was during the period 2006 October to December 2008. The worst was over by then. ఇప్పటికీ about 40,000 people have been killed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, largely in the valley of Kashmir. Most of them were killed by the Pakistani-inspired 3 terrorist organizations, Hizbul Mujahideen, Lashkar-e-Taiba, and Jaish-e-Mohammed. There were some collateral damages also. I urge you to go back to the India that existed in 1989 to 92-93. In 1989, after the elections, we had a particularly weak government in the center, led by Sri V.P. Singh. His tenure was plagued by the Mandal agitations, anti-Mandal agitations, pro-Mandal agitations, and simultaneously the ISI of Pakistan managed to get the Hizbul Mujahideen and the others perpetrate violence to such an extent that all the Pandits of the Kashmir Valley were driven out. Their women were raped, their properties were occupied, and some of them were killed, but they were driven away, mostly to Jammu and other places. Unfortunately, the response of the Indian Union, the Union government, was not adequate. We allowed it to happen. Maybe we were inadequate preparations wise. Why did that happen? It happened because right from 1971, when Pakistan adopted the theory called Qurban Ali theory, that is, to make India bleed through 1,000 cuts. It's an avowed foreign policy of Pakistan towards India. This was adopted as a state policy by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the then Prime Minister of Pakistan, who felt utter humiliation of having lost half the country, East Pakistan, to India. That's becoming Bangladesh, and he had to beg for the release of 84,000 prisoners of war, Pakistani soldiers in Indian prisons. But they could not succeed till 87. In 1987, there was a rigged election in which Syed Yusuf Shah contested against the son-in-law of Sheikh Abdullah. His name is Ghulam Muhyiddin Shah. GM Shah was chief minister for a short while. He somehow was declared elected in spite of the fact that Syed Yusuf Shah got a huge majority. Aggrieved by this, he migrated to Muzaffarabad, the capital of POK, and fell into the hands of ISI, who financed him heavily. And he started the most violent of the 3 terrorist organizations, Hizbul Mujahideen. He is still alive. He changed his name to Syed Salahuddin. And he is the most successful in recruiting the Kashmiris into the jihadi terrorist fold. Another misfortune was in 1989, we had a Union Home Minister, Mufti Muhammad Saeed, who, it is rumored, got his daughter Rubaiyah Saeed kidnapped, and in order to secure her released all the terrorists. This was in 89. languishing in the jails of Jammu as well as Kashmir, and thus gave a lot of indirect help to the terrorist activities in Jammu and Kashmir. Had these two events not happened, if only the government of India was a little stronger, we would not be in the very sad state of affairs now. So, what is the way out? We have been trying our best for the last 70 years, right from 1947, when Maharaja Hari Singh acceded to India on the 26th of October 1947, till now, to somehow keep the state of Jammu and Kashmir peaceful. Of course, the Jammu part and Ladakh part are reasonably peaceful. They rarely have any terrorist inspired violence. It is the Kashmir Valley who unfortunately became a stooge of the Pakistani I.S. In the initial days, a few people protested. They distinguished between independence from India and becoming a part of Pakistan. Those who felt that the independence is the right thing, they were mercilessly killed. Two famous leaders are the present Sajjad Loan's father, Ghulam Nabi Loan, he was killed. And even before that, the present Mir Wais of Kashmir, Omar Farooq, his father, he was also killed by terrorists. So the situation for the last almost 20 years is anyone who opposes Pakistan and ISI and the jihadi terrorism will be simply eliminated. So though there are a large number of Kashmiris who are moderate and who are not necessarily anti-Indian and who are definitely not for Pakistan, they are compelled to either remain quiet or externally give their support to Pakistan. In this state of affairs, a very bold decision has been taken, and that is to abrogate Article 35A completely and to a large extent alter the contents of Article 370, though technically it is still there in our constitution. But we also have the constitution of Jammu and Kashmir. It has not been repealed. The matter is pending in the Supreme Court of India. We do not know in which direction it goes. However, the fact is a genuine attempt has been made. I am not a member of the BJP. I am not a member of any political party. But having been a witness to the happenings in India for the last 69 years, I believe that a very daring step has been taken, and we should let it be taken to the logical conclusion, because we cannot live as a nation with this terrible ulcer of Kashmir. The only thing that is able to sustain that ulcer is the religion. There are about 20 crores of Muslims in India, quite happy being Indian. We have no problem with them. But there are these very few people, hardly a few lakhs in Kashmir, who are browbeaten and who are influenced by the Pakistani ISI and who are causing such a big headache to the Indian state. Shri I.V.Krishna already informed that you cannot have a nation within a nation or another nation with a separate flag, with a separate constitution of India, and initially with a separate prime minister. Now fortunately it is chief minister. Coexist with Indian state. India shall be a union of states, and Jammu and Kashmir has been a state, and at the most it can get back to the status after 31st of October. It will be a union territory for a while, but again become a state if things are peaceful. So I just ask, I request you all to be patient. You listen to the various perceptions. Mine is a layman's perception. I have very little to do with the politics, but nevertheless I am an Indian and I am interested in peace and tranquility in the Indian state, and we cannot let the Pakistani ISI disturb our peace. Thank you for the patient hearing.
I happen to be a corps commander when the balloon went up. And this was in October of the year when Rubia Saeed was kidnapped. At that point of time, we had no intelligence as to what was going on, and I, as a corps commander, was groping in the dark. My troops were very few. I had only 19 infantry divisions manning the line of control, and the other 2 divisions were up in the dark, 3 divisions and 28 divisions. The paucity of troops, and yet the troops were magnificent in the job they were handling. We must pay tribute to those brave young officers and men who stood on the LC and also guarded the line of control, and besides, line of communications. We had to be looked after, otherwise we would have had many casualties on the roads. It is the duty of the young soldiers and officers to ensure that morale was always on top of the world. They were never deterred by anything. And you will be happy to note, in the 2 years of my command, I lost only 4 men by fire. And yet we had better of them in every encounter when we had. This shows the training and leadership of the army. I'm proud of that. On this day when Rubia Saeed was kidnapped, in the morning at 11, I was rung up by the Commissioner of Srinagar, Mr. Pandit, at 6 in the evening. I told him to come straight away, but he had to discuss things with the Darbar officer, the Chief Secretary, who was in Jammu. It took him 2.5 hours to come and tell me that Rubia Saeed was kidnapped at 11. So I said, there is no point now, you are telling me, and she will not be here in Srinagar. She would have been taken away. Along with him was Additional DGCID of J&K, Mr. Anil Kapoor. I told them that Army will give you all the assistance, but it is your duty to know which area is vulnerable, where she could have gone, and where the trouble is. However, whatever troops I had, we gave them in aid to civil authority, and we had the curfew. What I told them was, curfew has to be imposed, and that anybody trying to stir up has to be shot. There is no mercy to be shown to anybody who is a defaulter. And luckily, nothing of that sort happened. However, the troubles then continued, and every day there was a problem that one bridge or the other was being broken, firing was taking place, and people were killed. This was done by those who were inducted from across the border of Pakistan. My troops at that point of time were ensuring that line of control they don't cross. But the terrain is such, the number of rivulets across the Pir Panjal and Shantabari range was such that it was a porous line of control because of paucity of troops. However, since I had commanded 19 infantry division at Baramulla, and I had walked Shamsabari range and Pir Panjal, and every post walked up to it, but flew back after that, because I wanted to know what is the terrain like and where the enemy can have an ingress. That assisted me a great deal. I had very good civilian commander. Initially, Brigadier M.V.Krishna, later on Lieutenant General and later Governor. Thereafter, I had Nasib Khatouch, a very brave, upright officer. I must say that I was assisted by the paramilitary forces also. I had from CRP Ashok Patel, and I had a very good I.P.S officer, Ltd. that was J.N. In January, Jan who was the governor, resigned, and N.V.Prabhakar was placed as the governor. The day he arrived, there was a problem, because in the city, on the 19th or 20th of January 19th, there was a problem of lot of people coming out. There was no curfew at that time, and ensuring firing at some places. When Jan.Mohd came, I went and met him. He told me that he had the report that there were 200 people were marching towards the Raj Bhavan. So I straight away went. I didn't have a talk with him, and I straight away left, went to and picked up J.N. Saxena. Went over to Lal Chowk, thereafter to Kaukadal Bridge. I had reports at that time that the civilians had tried to snatch weapons from my troops, and my troops in the self-defense opened fire at two places. Kaukadal, 6 were down, and at Sheikh Rashid Institute, there were about 3. Now the problem was very serious. When I went to Kaukadal Bridge, near the mosque, they were trying to break out, and this was the curfew time. I told them that should anybody come out, they'll be shot. However, 3 men can come out and meet me and DG Police, J.N. Saxena. 3 men came out and talked to me and said they want curfew to be lifted. I said it won't be lifted. Number 2, we want to go and bury our. I said, troops will help you. You will not go. Third, I said to them that any of the boys and girls who are from different parts of Srinagar Valley, they will be sent by the army by escort. And I told them to please ensure that anybody doesn't come out. And then I went back and reported to N.V.Prabhakar that everything was under control. That was the first time we met. I must say, he was a very distinguished person and he did a very good job for Kashmir. I worked with him for almost 7 to 8 months. After he went, reached Chandra Saxena, he was equally distinguished as a very fine police officer and administrator. At this point of time, you will be surprised. I got a message that one of our patrols had seen people, hundreds of them, walking up near the Kaubal Valley, which is between Gurez and Kargil. It's a place where the people can come into the Srinagar Valley at Pahalgam. I flew into a helicopter and went to one of the posts, and thereafter we moved troops. We cornered them from the 3 different directions. And in that 3 days operation, we had 200 of them in our bag. One of them tried to run, he was shot. So that was the maximum catch we have had. And that broke their will. And I had in this 2 battalions taking part from the Belgaum side and 1 battalion taking part from the Burup side, that the Gurez sector. Now this territory and the mountainous terrain is treacherous. It eats up troops. And I had paucity of troops. I requested Jan Jagaran Sabha, my chief, to give me some additional troops, and I told him that one of the divisions which was with the thought I would get them back and give them a position at Kupwara, which he agreed. I am very thankful for that, because I had then 28 division also in the valley, along with 19 infantry division which I had commanded. Thereafter I must tell you one more thing, that the second time 70 of them were crossing from Kayyambol side into the territory along the Ltd.Gen.Mohd. I'm sorry I'm giving the names of these people, these places which may will not known to you. But however, what I wanted to tell you was the troops are so good. A company, a platoon of 7 Assam rifles accounted for 70 of the insurgent dead at 12,000 feet. And you can imagine the terrain and the manner in which the troops have functioned. Also, I must tell you that because of paucity of troops, I had to recycle my men one after another. After each 3 days operation, I had to give them 1 day's break, and thereafter they were again on the job. I'm proud of them. They did a wonderful job. The young officers and battalion commanders were equally good. What I want to tell you is what matters is this, that one has to be selfless in service and fearless in command of troops. You should be totally fearless and always be along with the troops, because you should save the same hardships as the troops. After that, things went on, and the worst part was on 8th of October 1990, where we broke their back. That's what I thought. And thereafter, things were better for us. I retired. I went from here, to Commandant I.A.S, but I was recalled in service to be advisor to the Governor J.L.K. I had no choice. I could come because I thought I retired from my alma mater, that is I.V. However, at this point of time, I want to tell you about how situation turned in a different part of the world, Chechnya. Chechnya was devastated after the war. But Mr. Putin and the Soviets did so much work for them that the whole nation as Chechnya are eating out of their hands. And I am told that few Chechens wanted to fight in eastern Ukraine. If that be so, we have to turn around the situation in this manner. We have to learn what methods did the Soviets adopt to win them over. I also remember Sir Gerard Templar, when in Malaya, he said, win the hearts and minds of people. I used to tell my troops, you can win the minds of people because of your behavior, what they see you. Hearts may take time, but they will follow. And I've been there for a number of years, and I must also say that the paramilitary forces did a very good job. I had a very fine IG, BSF, Mr. Ram, excellent officer, upright, and always led the troops from the front. Also, I must give all the compliments to Mr. Padmanabhaiah, who was the Home Secretary, who gave us a lot of help, assistance when we required. I must tell you that the teamwork always works, and the team which matters, and the team of officers and men is always supreme.